I'm a hot mess. Like, oh man. Nothing could nothing could sum up the season quite like this. Self-inflicting wounds, terrible play calling, you name it, this game's got it. Return of Lamar Jackson played like he's never left. The defense is still in shambles. And just an overall horrible game for the Miami Dolphins. Just a complete 180 of what we saw against Atlanta Falcons. Embarrassed on Thursday night football at Hard Rock and at home too. When can we finally see the end where enough is enough? It's time to make a change. Tua played horrible football. Granted, the defense for Baltimore is really good. I'm surprised at their record, but I won't be surprised they go on this insane run and then make the playoffs. Man, I don't know what else to do other than just put myself into this shopping bag that says ShopRite and make a face, a poor soul that is slowly being ripped away from my sanity into this bag. Never thought I'd do it. I really never thought I'd do it. But this is the first time in my life I actually did something very common, and that's put the shopping bag or a brown bag over your head like this. Some folks in the crowd did it. Why can't I do it? This is me. My sorry face. Even this bag doesn't want to talk about this pathetic Dolphins team. Thursday night football. Dolphins lose 28-6 to the Baltimore Ravens, having a terrible season, at least a terrible start to the season. And we only kicked two field goals. No, it is 3 field goals. We kicked 3 field goals, and we made 2 of them. It was the first drive that resulted in the 49er field goal. Off to a decent start, right? And then it took 4 plays after that. Just a couple more. Because was it Malik Washington that fumbled the football, literally getting ripped away. They fumbled the football, and Ravens scored a touchdown on their next drive, right? It was a 2-yard rush, a 2-yard pass to Mark Andrews. Of course, Mark Andrews. You know, Dolphins. What was so important about having a team that pretty good offense? It's not just because you have a good wide receiving core, which now we don't, but you also will have a tight end that could help the big guy push through everything. Except Mark Andrews was left super wide open. In fact, a couple of tight ends of the Ravens were left super wide open. Because our defense is that trash. Okay? They are awful. And it's the general manager's job to make it better. Especially if they were injured to the core, which the GM did not do it. Now, a couple of years ago, some Ravens fans were commenting in the video saying, your injuries not the factor. I never said anything that says related to injuries. I never did. But I try to tell people time and time again, I never will want to blame on injuries. I'm saying that they are the big factors as to why we're losing this game, because our best players are out. But that is no excuse of why we're losing these games. We lost this game because A, we have terrible play calling, which was very evident in this game, and our defense sucked so badly. They just flat out gave up. And Tua flat out gave up too. 3 fumbles from their offense. 3, at least 3. And their special teams, total garbage. Okay? Our special teams wasn't that great. Okay? We had a 10-play drive, and we ended up missing a field goal. It was a great drive, and he ended up missing a 35-yard field goal. You can make a 49-yard, but you miss a 35-yarder. How is that possible? Where the hell is Jason Sanders? Oh, and of course, Baltimore, they capitalized on that. 35-yard pass to Likely for 35 yards. That carries over to the second quarter, and the 20-yard pass to Mark Andrews again. Again. Could you imagine Jonnu Smith still part of our team? We would talk a lot more about Jonnu Smith than we are with Darren Waller. Because Darren Waller, hurt. He might be done for the season. Great fucking job, Greer. And then we punted the football. And then we forced a 3-and-out. Was it this play? Was it this drive, actually? Yeah, it was this drive. Okay. We need to talk about this penalty. Because this might be the worst offensive unnecessary roughness call I've ever seen in my life. And I've been watching this for 13 years. Actually, not even 13 years, 15 years. I've been watching football for 15 years. Okay? I've seen Jets games, Giants games, Patriots games. I've seen a lot of games throughout my life. But none. And I've seen a lot of shitty calls. Mind you, I've seen a lot of shitty calls in my life. Horrible ones. Horrible ones. But none, I don't think none could be as controversial as this call. So in this play, before I show you, here's the play, here's the sums of this play. It was a 15-yard pass to Waddle, completely left wide open. Caught the football that goes in for 36 yards. This was a 36-yard pass from Tua to Jalen Waddle. Okay, 36-yard play that would have went all the way to I want to say Baltimore 20 if my math is correct. I don't know, but it's close. It's close. Then they called a tripping penalty on Ollie Gordon. Okay, you ready for this unnecessary roughness? You ready for the tripping penalty? I don't think you're as prepared as what I'm about to show you. Because I'm not prepared. Because this is a nasty penalty given up by the Dolphins. Look closer. Ollie Gordon slips and falls down. He ends up falling down. Watch this again. He slips, falls down. Now his leg sticks up, but that's not in any way intended to trip the Ravens defender. Yet this guy called it unnecessary roughness. I want to keep going. Let's see if it does show it. Let me see real quick. They show another one. They show Mike McDaniel. Okay, this is not it. I want to find the next one. Okay, Mike McDaniel, obviously very angry with this. I gotta find this. Here it is. This is after the penalty. That is a running back coach. Completely throwing shade and screaming at Ollie Gordon for committing this penalty. And they went back and forth. Oh, man. I think that kind of frustration really sums up this Dolphin season. That play alone sums up the Dolphins season. It's just horrible. And what's mind-boggling is that the coach, the running back coach, wasn't having Ollie Gordon's back. He was screaming right at him, and Ollie Gordon screams at him back. The running backs coach name is Matt Merritt. Screaming at Ollie Gordon for committing that penalty, even though that should never have been called to begin with. If you're going to call something, you might as well call a hold on our offensive line. That I would have accepted it, because this 69, if that's a number, I don't fucking care. He grabbed the Ravens player in a helmet like this. He was helmeted like this to the Ravens defender. On a helmet, man, mind you. They didn't call anything on that. They call it on Ollie Gordon for tripping, even though that is clear as day not a tripping. I don't care what anybody says. That right there is not a tripping call. I've seen far worse calls that sums up into a tripping. I've seen something that's familiar to a trip. I've seen legit tripping calls. That is not a tripping call. That might be one of the worst tripping penalties I've ever seen in 15 years of watching football. And it's not close. I've seen shitty calls. Really shitty calls. That one's bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. The Dolphins end up punting the football. Get the fuck out of here. Get a grip. It's so bad. Ravens were forced to 3-and-out. Great. A 10-yard sack on Lamar Jackson is Brandon Jones. And then a penalty on unsportsmanlike conduct because Beckman was complaining that he was grabbed. First off, that was not a catchable play. I don't know why you're arguing with them, and then you get unnecessary unsportsmanlike conduct. Dolphins had a really good chance, because when the Ravens punted the football, Malik Washington went to 35 yards, and then there was a hold on the special teams on the Ravens that gotten the Dolphins to the Baltimore 29. What did they do? Kick a field goal. And that's it. That's the last time the Dolphins did anything offensive. Since then, turnover on downs. They went for a 4th and 2 at the Ravens 13. What would you do in that situation? Do you try to go for it because your season is so bad that you want to try to get something? Or do you take the points because the game is still within reach? I say kick the fucking field goal because the game is still within reach. What do? Go for it on 4th down, and Tua had a really terrible throw. And I believe that was intended for Achane, which Achane, I feel sorry for Achane because he had another great game. He had a really good game against the Ravens. And that was a horrible throw by Tua on the right side. I mean, what more do you want me to say? That's a sucker's throw. And that crowd, oh man, if I was there, I probably would have said worse things than what the crowd is probably saying. I don't even know what kind of people are going to say some things, what kind of comments are going to make on the stands. I don't know. I'm not there for it. But I would have guaranteed I would have probably said something worse than what they're probably saying, because we had enough. We're booing a storm on the Dolphins. We're booing the shit out of the team. And really, we're booing out of front office because you failed to provide a team that is competitive, that you claim to be competitive. You failed to address problems that us fans can see it from the TV, from the stands, while you are enjoying your margarita talking and bitching and complaining that your car is 20 feet away from your private jet. We're seeing all the problems. You just sit back there and watch, Ross. You sit back and you're comfortable. You're bitching and complaining that your car is 20 feet away from a private jet, from your private jet. Imagine 80,000, at least, actually at the most, but imagine that many people have to walk from the stadium to the West Gate and to the South Gate to find an Uber share, and let alone finding their cars. That is way farther than 20 feet. Imagine all of us have to walk so fucking far to find our car, to go to Walmart supermarket, to go to a park that is south of the stadium. And mind you, that area alone is not a particularly nice area, especially in the west side of the stadium. And I'm not saying that it's a dangerous spot. I'm saying it's dark, it's scary, but no, or you're perfectly fine with it. It's complete horseshit that you're more upset the fact that your car is 20 feet away from your private jet than your team losing, abysmally losing to teams that you might have a chance to win. Worst of all, you see the problems and you're not doing anything about it. The problems are right in front of you and you don't have a backbone to do it. But no, Tua had time. The old line's still shit, but he had time, and he took a sack. Third quarter to start off. Ravens 11 play, 68 yards. Yeah, they did it. Kolar with the 3-yard catch. Completely wide open. Nobody was even close to him. Nobody's close to him. Kolar. Another pass, another touchdown. Next 3-and-out drive. Dolphins. Penalty. A sack. Losing a yard. HN. And an incomplete pass. What do you think the crowd reaction was? Was it all cheers? Sure, some of them are Ravens fans. They travel well, Ravens fans. They travel well. But the majority of them just had enough. Everybody had enough. What point do you think that this is a voice to be heard? What point do you think it's a democracy or not a democracy? What point do you say, oh no, I have to make this change because whatever's happening is not working? Somebody's the problem. They're booing at Tua. They're booing at Mike McDaniel. They're booing at Anthony Weaver. They're booing at everybody. They're booing their own team for making these boneheaded play calling decisions and Tua making these bad calls, bad plays. And I'm sorry to say this, but they have every right to be upset. Especially if the tickets might not be cheap. I think this game was cheap. I admit I did not check. I didn't check what was the cost of this game because I don't think people like me will want to go. I'm surprised this game had at least 65 in attendance. I'm surprised by this. People are calling for a boycott in this, but no, nobody's boycotting. Super fans, they're going no matter what because they love their football team. And the front office is taking advantage of that. And it's bullshit. Granted, I see a couple of fans that are actually canceling their season ticket members because they don't, until there's changes, why should they go? Why should they care? If they don't care, why should they care? You see what I'm trying to say? Just loud boos. Some of them I recognize. I met some of them. But at what point do you say, that's it, I have to make a change? That last win was a fluke. How the hell can Tua have a pink eye and have one of the best games of the season, and the Tua fully healthy Tua and completely shit the bed? How is that possible? Ravens are 2-5 to start the season. 2-5, I don't care. They were 2 wins to coming into this game. In fact, Tyler Huntley, remember Tyler Huntley? Yeah, he's back to his old form. 4-play drive for the Ravens, another touchdown. This is Bateman for 9 yards. Yeah. What else do you want from the Dolphins at this point to do anything? Fourth quarter starts. A promising start, a 28-yard pass to Malik Washington for 28 yards. Looking good, right? Then there's pass interference. And then the play was reversed. And it was incomplete. What the hell was that? This was a pass that was a 21-yarder, but Adrian did not have complete control of the football. And more penalties on the Dolphins, and an intentional grounding, like to what the hell was that? Why would you just pluck the football to the ground like that? What was that? Another penalty. Actually, this one's on Baltimore. There was a pass interference call on Baltimore. But then the very next play, Malik Washington fumbles the football again. And mind you, we were at the 14, Baltimore's 14, and we fumbled the football. You gotta be kidding me. The next Dolphins drive, because Ravens had a 19-yard run in the next drive, but they punted the football. And Lamar Jackson was sacked by Jalen Phillips. Who cares? Next drive for the Dolphins was picked off, and that was a horrible throw. I understand Malik. I understand Washington was there. Another Washington player. Starks had it right. Starks can see it for a while, and he was able to track it, and was able to easily pick it off. And I'm done talking about this. The next 10 plays are just running plays. Getting first down. They took the knee for the rest. This was an abysmal performance. Horrible all game around. The offense did nothing at all to help the team in the second half. They did nothing. They scored 0 points in the second half. 0. Meanwhile, the Ravens, two more touchdowns in the third quarter to basically end it. They didn't score a touchdown at all in the fourth quarter. Tua with 261-yard passing compared to Lamar Jackson with 204. That's great. That means Tua's better, right? Except here's one tiny problem. Lamar had 4 touchdown passes. Tua had none. He had 1 interception. That was that last Dolphins drive. Incredible. It's just incredible. 3 turnovers from the Dolphins. 2 of them were fumbles. And 1 of them was an interception. Taj Washington was the one that fumbled in the fourth quarter. That's his name. Malik Washington also fumbled. That was early in the game. Taj Washington was the receiver in for that interception. At what point do we say enough is enough? Like, really? Enough is enough. I don't get it. I don't get what's taking so long. We're begging for a change. From this, they're not going to listen. They're gonna keep rolling with Mike McDaniel. They're gonna keep rolling with Chris Greer, and that's a damn shame. Baltimore deserved to win this game. We didn't. Just want to make sure. And it's just sad. It's just sad.